how's it going, everybody? Brett and Briggs back at it with you guys again with another pellet stove parts replacement video. And today we're going to be working on this Breckwell Big E pellet stove. And Dad, what parts are we replacing today?
Well, as always, to our viewers, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be changing the convection room air fan. That's the fan that blows the hot air out into your room. And we are going to be replacing the igniter on this Breckwell Big E. Let's have some fun. Let's do it right. Let's go to work.
Sounds good.
Okay, friends, take a moment, like, share, subscribe. Please help Briggs and I build the channel. Okay, we'll put that out of the way. These are the tools that you will need today to install the new convection room air fan and the igniter in this Breckwell Big E pellet stove. You could use a standard impact wrench with a Phillips adapter. This is an extension that goes onto this, and a 3/8 socket that will go onto the impact. You will need an 1/8 Allen. You can use a regular or one that goes onto the impact. A 3/8 open wrench. You may need this. A regular Phillips screwdriver and a 3/8 socket on a regular ratchet. This should do it. You can kind of do a little combination of one or the other, but these are the basics. I know that you can do it. We're going to show you how. As always, safety, safety, safety. Unplug the stove, unplug the stove from your outlet prior to doing any maintenance on this stove. And if you don't feel comfortable doing any maintenance on your pellet stove, please call your local service provider. Let's go. Friends, the first thing we're going to do now is we are going to start the removal of the igniter. So, what I like to do, you can open up the door if you wish, but you want to remove the ash pan on the Breckwell Big E. So these are just pieces of plastic. Just set them aside. Don't lose them. If you got dogs, kids, things like that, set them up, set them aside, set them high, whatever you want to do. So here is the ash pan. You're going to be taking this out once or twice a week to dump the ashes. But slowly just take it off and take it out. And my gosh, look at this. This is not what you want to see. So you want to keep this clean every week. Depending on how much you use it, you may use it every day. If you do, recommend it for the Breckwell E. Just kind of check it every couple of days and go ahead and dump this ash out in compost or wherever you see fit where it won't catch fire. So I'm going to set this aside. And here is an absolute mess. Don't want to talk about it. You could use your vacuum. Get this garbage out of here. This is your burn pot. So your burn pot here is the whole thing here. And so I've got gloves on. You don't have to wear gloves if you don't want to, but I like wearing gloves. I'm wearing my Napa gloves because these things are just oh my gosh, they are fantastic. You can just grab anything with them. So here, so you grab the whole deal and you just take it off slowly. You bring it down and take this out. This is the burn pot. I'm going to set it down and get it out of the way. So right here, you can see this tube we're going to remove, and right in the center where my glove is, or my finger, that's the igniter. So we're going to go on the back side of this stove and start to disassemble it.
So we're going to remove this panel, and there's going to be 3 Phillips screws on the back here. The screws may be different, they may be bolts, but for this one, they're going to be Phillips.
I'm coming around.
Coming around?
Here we go.
All right, perfect. So here, we're going to loosen the top one, the middle one, and then the bottom one.
Coming around. Coming around.
Once those are loose, we're going to lift up, pull out, and we're going to take this panel out. Now remember, on this side, since the control board's here, it's going to be attached to a Molex connector, and we want to remove this Molex connector. How to do that, you're going to place your hand here, press your thumb down on this part, and you're going to gingerly take it out.
Beautiful.
Set that to the side. We're going to take your control board, put this to the side nice and safe so it doesn't get bumped around. And then...
Just set it down, son. Let's go.
I know, right?
Good golly.
And then we have access to this here. Now, a little bonus content I want to have. If you can do this, depending on your space.
I gotta come around. I can't believe this.
There is a back panel. We recommend removing this back panel because this gives you more all-around space to work with. So the screws may vary. On this model, we'll have 3.
There are Phillips on this one, right?
Phillips do.
Okay.
Take the panel, set it to the side, and you can see how this really opens up here. You got this full side open up, you got back right here, and we're ready for the next steps. This convection fan here is held by 4 bolts, each on the corner here. These 3 right here are a lot easier to see. The challenge one is this 4th one back here.
I gotta come around. That last one will just take you out to sea. It is a joke, but I know we all can do it.
So the 4th one's right here. Can I see that? So that one can be a little pain to get to. All the other bolts, you can easily take your socket wrench and you can tackle each one. This back one back there, number of times, you may have to just use an open end wrench like this. For these purposes, to kind of speed things up, we're going to use torque wrench with the extension and the 3/8.
3/8.
So we're going to go on each side right here. Going to tackle each bolt. Take them out. Set it to the side. Tackle this guy right.
Top left, top left. And the last one, friends. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, the last one.
Just take your time with this last one. It's so tight in there. Briggs is getting it right there.
And a number of times, you can kind of cheat a little bit and use the extension with 3/8 to get that fork on. It's not always easy and nice, but this one, it does. So over here, I'm supporting it with my other hand. I'm going to gently take it out. This one had a neck of the washer kind of set there, but that's okay. That's going to stay. So the only thing holding this is the wires. You can see how it travels up here. Beforehand, you can kind of loosen those off that bracket. We just want to disconnect these encapsulated wires, as so. You able to get a good view on that?
Yeah, there's just 2.
Just 2. Make sure it doesn't get tangled in anything else. And just like that, you have your convection fan taken out.
Okay, there's your gasket right there. There's 4 holes. Top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, and Briggs is going to take the fan and put it back in the stove.
All right, here we go. So we're going to take our fan.
On the side.
We are going to leave our wires disconnected for now. And we're going to line these up with the holes. And you're going to be using both hands for this one and a little patience. But I'm going to hand thread these with the extension. Now the extension I have right now, it's not attached to the torque wrench, which gives me a little bit of control in here, but then also not too much strength if needed. I like using the extension, just hand threading like this, because these are kind of tight spaces. And you can do it just by hand if you want up close, but you're going to soon realize...
I got to get a better... there we go.
You're going to soon realize how tight of a space it is, even from the camera use right here.
It just drives me nuts, son. You know, sometimes, people put things together and they're just like, bim, bam, boom, and there you go, and your stove or your car is fixed. No, you always run into a snag. Just take your time. Take your time. This will all come together.
Exactly. So, real quick, this last 4th one can be a bear, but once you're able to get it in just like that, I saved that for the last, and I'm going to go around, tighten. You don't have to get it real tight, but just snug. Now that is good all around. Now don't forget to find your wires, because if you try to patch everything up, forget to connect these wires, you're soon going to realize when you got no hot air blowing in your room, and then you have to just get in here all again. So again, on these encapsulated wires, you want to make sure you get that male end connected in that female right in the middle, and you align them just right. If you don't, you may not have a true connection, and you can have intermittent or no connection at all. Kind of a simple plug and play, but just double check that you made a good connection there, and you are good with your fan. If you can, a lot of this job can be made easier if you can go from the back end. It's still possible to go from the side, but take it from us. If you can go from the back, you're going to save a lot more time and you're going to have a lot less stress. So first off, what we want to do, we want to locate the wires of the igniter. So basically you can start at the base, follow these igniters. Usually they're very, very different from the other igniters, and we're going to connect them, or sorry, from the other wires.
They're high heat wires.
They are. So we're going to set them to the side right here.
Good thing, God,
Push
get them
these
out
wires
of
out of
the
the
way.
way. So now you can kind of see what we're up to in that next. So your igniter and your igniter bracket is right here. A number of these Breckwell models will vary in the bolts, the style, everything else. And so you may need to get creative if you have older models or newer, but a number of these newer ones will have a bolt on the bottom and the top. It's a 3/8 size. So if you got a hand socket, you're going to have to get in here. It's a little bit of tight clearances, but with enough patience, you'll get that in. But for this purposes, for the
I'm going to
video,
move just over here just a little bit. Okay.
we got pretty good extensions, and so we're going to use to that advantage. So we're going to take one bolt out. Sorry about that camera bump right there. And we're going to take the top one out. We're going to take that to the side.
You can use your regular ratchet too.
You can. So, now right here, this spot, it may not come out easily. If it doesn't come out easily, you can go on the other side and take a hammer or another solid part and just kind of bump it from the other side to dislodge it. Don't hit it too hard, because if you start messing up the metal, things may not fit on, good as new. So over here, we're going to test to see if it's a little bit looser. Thankfully, this one is going to be our friend today. It is loose, and we're going to take this out. So right here, we have the igniter and the igniter bracket. Now that we have this whole piece out, we're going to remove the igniter from the igniter bracket. First, you're going to locate where the Allen screw is. It's going to be right here. So if you have it this way, you're not going to find it, but with some turning, you're going to find it right about there. So you can either go the manual way and remove it if so,
Eighth.
or if you have the equipment, we have one that goes right on our impact, and we can easily remove that. This one came out all the way. You don't necessarily have to take it all out all the way. We're going to set that there. Don't lose it. Don't lose that piece. And
That piece is referring to this little piece. That's just the screw. That's the Allen part.
yeah, that's actually
It's
on
on
so
there
I'm gonna
pretty
leave
tight,
that.
so we're going to leave it. But when you drop that, you're going to lose it. So just take your time. I'm going to go back over here. There we go.
So when you remove this igniter, it should slide out easily. That's not always the case, especially if you have a very, very old one, because these things can expand out and you may need a little bit of elbow grease to get it out. Thankfully, this is our friend. We're going to put it over here. We're going to take the new one,
Woo, that's nice.
which sometimes, because it's new, it may not fit in there. But we'll see if we're going to be, oh, we're lucky today.
Beautiful.
Less stress. That always doesn't happen. So if it does not fit nicely like that, don't fret. With a little bit of creativity, you are able to get that in and, well, go from there. So now, if you want to back that camera off a little bit so I can move this drill, we're going to replace the Allen screw.
Slowly.
Slowly. I'm going to start it, folks. Now this igniter slid out a little bit. You want to make sure that is set in just good right there. I'm going to bring this tool over here. I'm going to tighten that Allen wrench. And you don't have to get it too tight. And right there, it's ready to be put in. All right, you guys got that all secured. Now we're going to go for this hole right here. And we're going to take your igniter and igniter bracket, and you're going to funnel it right in.
It's tough to film there.
Yes, it is. You might. There we go. So once you got it in, you are ready to replace the bolts right here. I'm going to do a little hand tighten right there. Go for the second one. My apologies for bumping that camera. You guys can see how tight this can be in here. And we are in our shop, so we got a little bit more room, but when these things are actually installed and everything else, well, you're gonna have to be a little bit more saving on your space. Once we got them in, we'll tighten them. As so. I'm gonna have to go back and forth here. I don't know if I can see it. Good, secure. To get a little bit on that bottom one. And she's in. And do not forget, even though you got it in, you want to make sure you reconnect the wires. So we're going to fire in all the disconnections over here. I'm going to bring them back up in place. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to connect one, right as so. Come over here and connect the last one. And no worries, folks, it does not matter which one's which, just as long as you have those connections to where they were originally connected, and you should be all right.
Now in reality, in your home, you have the stove, it's sitting on your hearth pad, it's a tight space. So when you take this left panel off, here is your exhaust fan. And then right here is the pipe. So you got all the stuff in your way, but on this one side, underneath the exhaust fan, most likely you're gonna probably go this route to take that igniter out, or if you can actually get over this exhaust tube, take the panel off and get in behind there, that's faster, but most likely you're gonna do it from the right hand side here. So you're gonna use your ratchet, you're gonna get in here, and look at my hand. I'm sitting in there, I can't see a darn thing. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feel those bolts. There's 2 of them that Briggs took out, 3/8. And I'm gonna take my ratchet, I'm just gonna go zip, zip, zip. There's one, and then I'm gonna take my hand up there, feel the other one, zip, 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 zip. Is it gonna come out easy? Heck no. But when you take both bolts out, then you can take your hand and you can take the whole cartridge out like Briggs did, and then remove, replace in this really, really tight space. But I know you can do it. Take your time, take a deep breath. You're gonna have a nice install.
There you guys have it. There's a new convection fan in your stove and a new igniter. And after you put all the panels up, your stove is ready to go.
Shabam! I'm telling you folks, that convection room air fan and igniter, we filmed it the best that we could, but it's a really, really tight spaces. And if you just use the tools that we recommended, just take a deep breath, one little step at a time, and you will be successful. You will get your stove fixed. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next video.
Thanks, guys.